No, we're not.
What up, virtual people? Welcome to the 106th episode of VCR Redux. We take your favorite franchises out of the analog era and bring them back to 2020. Radical guests on the show tonight. First up, the third leg of our VCR tripod himself. Oh, Mickey, you're so fine. Mac Daddy Mickey Torres is back on the show.
What's up, everyone?
And rounding out this righteous crew from New Jersey-based bands Night Lover, Honey Red, and Crash Romeo, the latter of which his newest music video, Your Name Here, is available on YouTube now. Steve the Sex Machine Anderson is back on the show, ladies and gentlemen.
Hi.
Good God.
Hi.
Good
Hi.
Lord.
Oh, yes. That's right, folks. We are here today.
I haven't been this uncomfortable since I watched Meatballs 4 Meatballs to the Rescues with my parents. This is awkward. What are we doing here, guys?
I'll tell you what we're doing here. We are here today to recancel Bill Murray before befriending an alien until Patrick Dempsey gets caught with a salami in his shorts while Corey Feldman parachutes in to save the day on water skis. That's right, folks.
I'm impressed, sir.
And by folks,
good.
I mean Ian.
I'm impressed.
It's time for Meatballs 5,
Yes!
Parmesan Nights, and we're here to give it to you.
Yes!
Ian's dreams have finally come true. But before you tell me you feel the need for Shannon Tweed, we need to talk about how Meatballs came into our lives and what we love about it. And of course, that includes everyone. No, clearly
I know
I
you
should have
did.
rehearsed that. I should have. I stumbled all over it. But of course, that includes everyone watching the live chat as well. Was it love at first Laserdisc, Vital VHS? Hit us up in the chat and let us know how you first got meatballed. So,
Yes.
you remember the first time a Meatballs film came into your life?
So I believe I'd only really seen the first one, and that was like a Bill Murray rental, being like young, and I remember liking it a lot because Bill Murray when you're a kid and that movie's very charismatic and charming. It seems that way anyway. And then recently for this show, I watched the other three. And holy shit, guys. These movies were rough. Rough.
What?
No, I
Rough,
can't.
dude.
They're not rough.
Chris get meatballed. What are we talking? What age?
A sentence Chris says every week.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what age. I just saw them on HBO because like it was like a, I was too young to probably see them in the theaters or at least like remember it, them in the theaters. So like they were definitely cable because, late night, boobs, all that stuff, whatever like that. Was down, or even like the thought of boobs, or the thought of like it's just one of those movies that you're just like, oh man,
You're
some
just
girls
hoping.
are gonna be out there and they're gonna be in bikinis and oh, this is so good. So HBO was the thing. Like that's exactly how I watched it.
Why is young Mickey like, oh, oh.
Well, I think I was hoping there would be another Mac Daddy McDate in here, but
nah, there were two.
The first one you would have been too young.
Yeah.
And then the second one you would have been too young, and then the third and fourth I don't even think came out in theaters. Honestly,
no, I don't think they did. Because
no way.
I probably would have seen the fourth one, but it was 92 because it was 92. I probably would have saw the fourth one in the theaters, but I didn't even know they were still making Meatballs movies at that time.
All right,
I want to hear it right on video, sir.
I want to hear Ian's Iowa journey into getting meatballed.
All right, so it's the summer of '94. All right, and I remember, I don't know the video store name, but I remember I've talked about this store before, but it was in Iowa City. It's the same store I know my dad rented, not only Repossessed, but also
that movie.
But also rented the Blood Fist series. So it's a great video store.
Nice.
And there was this weird movie cover. Now this store had the where it was the little slips that you had to pull the slip off of the cover and bring it to the front desk, and behind you.
Right on.
So it's just a little plaque. So if the plaque was missing, the little square plaque was missing, the movie was rented out. So I saw this movie that had the kid from the Goonies on the cover, and it was a movie called Meatballs 4, Meatballs to the Rescue.
Nice.
I went, this is it. Okay, I brought this, and my dad let me rent it, and I have never laughed harder in my life than when you're 8 years old and Corey Feldman does the thing where his finger's hurting, and he's like, my finger hurts. Oh, you gotta pull it, and he farts. Just pure heaven. All right, that video got rewound so many times. All right, and then I just
for that scene that got rewound.
That was it, man.
Scene?
That was it. For when you're 8 years old and somebody farts on screen. I mean, come on, guys.
So you came in. Let me just get this right.
Oh yeah, I'll give you the chronological order. I came in
age 8, and you came in with part 4.
Came in with part 4. Then all of a sudden,
you love this so much.
Oh my god! So then I'm it's a summer, and all of a sudden at like 8 o'clock in the morning, here comes on this other movie called Meatballs Part 2. And I go, what is this? I remember the Meatballs 4, but there's more to because at that point I didn't understand.
You didn't realize even at 8 years old that Meatballs 4
like,
would have 3 movies prior to it?
I don't understand. I know there's a Ghostbusters and a Ghostbusters II. I don't understand anything else beyond that. Okay. Right?
I'll tell you what, I understand this much. There should have been, you remember those Rob Lowe DirecTV cable commercials? There should have been one that's like, I'm E.T., I have DirecTV. And then comes Meathead from Meatballs 2. He's like, I'm from Meatballs 2 and I have cable.
Meathead. Dude, that is like the best part of part 2. I mean, there's so much good stuff in part 2.
Oh, I love part 2. So I'm like in love with this movie, and then it dawns on me. Wait a minute. There's got to be a 1 and a 3.
You genius.
Logically.
So, luckily, the Wellman Public Library, for some odd reason, had a VHS copy of Meatballs with Bill Murray. And then I go, Bill Murray, what in the fart is going on? Like, my universe is blowing up here. You're telling me Bill Murray, this is a series that started with Bill Murray? And then God bless Gilbert Gottfried, because Gilbert Gottfried in USA Up All Night completed my quadrilogy by showing Meatballs I Summer Job. Now, I will tell you this right now. I prefer, Chris, I know you and I have talked about this, but sometimes I prefer the TV edits of some of these movies. I prefer them going up to the line and stopping at the line because a censor was going to do it. I've seen the VHS version of Meatballs 3, but I love the USA Up
Meatballs
All
3
Night.
is a TV edit movie. There's nothing on the VHS version that's like extra.
Yeah.
Oh, sir. Oh, sir. Sir.
What have I been watching some like reduced version of Meatballs 3?
Oh yes.
I don't remember. Well, fucking
I don't remember 3 that much at all.
So is 3 raunchier than 4?
I've rented 3.
No,
from
4. No, actually, though,
No, 4 is the raunchy one. Yeah,
4
you're
is,
confused.
But
here.
but 3 and 4 are about
3.
equal.
They're both sex comedies.
They came in the post Porky's kind of.
Yes.
Even though
Meatballs 4 even has
2,
the Porky's font.
Yeah, Meatballs 2 is still classified as a sex comedy too.
Well, we gotta also have to address Meatballs Part 2 was not meant to be Meatballs. It was actually called Summer Camp, I think is what it was called. Like they actually filmed.
So they were gonna
Lens.
They were gonna call the first one Summer Camp, and they wound up having to call it Meatballs because they were making another movie called Summer Camp, which I think wound up being Meatballs 2.
Which so so they just literally one became a hit.
Oh, and Ian froze. Oh man.
And you're so excited you froze.
His Wi-Fi extender just blew up.
This is like this is Ian's exact version of hell, where like we're doing Meatballs. We're here to talk about like his favorite movie, and he's just frozen out of it. Literally, the internet gods are just Thanos his modem.
That happened to me during Eddie and the Cruisers. So like I feel for him.
Oh my lord,
he doesn't look okay.
I mean, like,
Ian, are you okay?
He's sick.
Is Kelly LeBrock standing behind him from Weird Science? Did she just like snap him like the grandparents?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Right. Well, Chris, when did you see
somebody pull his finger? Somebody pull his finger.
Oh man, someone make a fart joke quick. And
so this is a good time, Chris, for your story now.
Yeah. Even better than that, let's see what's going on in the live chat, then we'll get to my story. So I see Angie Saunders. Who's in there? Kyle 1.0, the OG Fandom Spotlight, Governor himself, Kyle. OG.
Still waiting for that
Diamonds
shirt.
in there. Thank you so much for tuning in. Alex Bonafonte, Gold's Code, Angie Saunders, a lot of the regulars, Toots LaRue, It's Cobra Kai, Xandra Mars. Thank you so much for tuning in, everybody. Angie Saunders says, happy birthday, Chris. Thank you. Gold's Code, we are the VCR Redux viewers, so pity us. Ian is terrible and the pitches are hideous. Chris smokes and drinks, Mickey fools around, Ian's nowhere bound. We are the VCR Redux viewers. Angie Saunders says it was VHS Discovery. Love Bill Murray. Gold's Code says Meatballs 2 was on every day in the summer of '96 on Cinemax. Boy, was I confused when I rented Meatballs 1 and there was a race, not an alien. Xander Mars says,
yeah, the alien's very specific to that one movie. Yeah.
Meathead was the best thing about that movie.
He was something, man. He really was something.
Out of nowhere, a camp movie about kids, like a girl never saw a pinky, and then all of a sudden a fucking alien turns.
I love that the alien's parents drop him off at the summer camp too, so he can just experience the summer camp as an alien child, and he just wears a rain slicker through the whole movie.
Meathead,
the best disguise ever. The Ninja Turtles took a cue from Meathead on how to disguise themselves.
Excuse me.
Don't ask me. I don't even care anymore. The world doesn't want me to enjoy these films. That's all I'm down to.
Poor Ian. Hold on. Let me finish catching up with the live chat, and then we can resume Ian's story here. Xander Mars says, Chris, let's be honest, you could have rehearsed that intro and you still would stumble all over it. Rehearsing it would have made no difference. Facts are facts, and that is the truth.
Got your number.
Gold's Code says Meatballs 4 for the win, best end credit sequence, and tell me I wasn't the only one who had a crush on Christy Tom. Hey Ian, you think your mom's going to like her? It's Cobra Kai. This is Meatballs. I watched around 9 or 10 years old. Saw it at a friend's house. He has older brothers and sisters. They let us watch it. That's really a great way to come into these movies. Let's see.
Wait, watched it with what?
Brothers and sisters.
Older brothers and sisters. Yeah, that's a great
Well,
way.
I know, but what, like watched it
at a friend's house.
Well, didn't you say something about Cobra Kai?
That's the name of the.
Oh, yeah. Oh
Yeah,
gosh,
so-
if you watched this with your brothers and you watched 4 in that fart scene, come on, get out of here.
That is the ideal way to watch these movies, is around that age with a group of your friends, not at 40 like I just did.
Look, Steve's right.
But-
If you're watching this movie and collecting your farts in a jar and lighting them with a match, your summer was set. That's all I'm gonna say.
Right.
So
If you tried it. Don't act like you didn't.
these movies came in
You gotta
actual.
try.
It's one of those rare obstacles of video Armageddon that I found my way into this series in chronological order. We loved Bill Murray growing up, so any movie that Bill Murray did, we had on VHS, with the exception of like Razor's Edge. You know, so I'm just saying that was my dad's choice, not mine. You think I was shopping for videos in like 1988? Come on.
Has anybody seen Razor's Edge?
I was trying.
Many of you seen it?
We've mentioned it so many times on this show that I think
Impressive film.
we've raised the awareness. We've doubled the awareness of Razor's Edge.
All 4 people out there.
Yeah, all 4 people out there.
There's a lot of people like me confused. Is that
2 of them
wait a minute.
know about it from our show.
Bill Murray was in River's Edge?
No, Razor.
Oh, get out of here.
I know.
Get out of here.
Oh my
And
God.
a river runs through it.
Razor runs
Exactly.
through it. Oh my God. Now I just want Razor Ramon and
Where
all
the
these
dances
things.
with wolves roam? What?
Good
The
Lord.
movie would have been better with Razor Ramon.
So Meatballs again.
Hmm.
Oh, here we are, Ian. It's your paradise. Here I'm talking about
Oh my
Meatballs.
God, yes.
I thought you were gonna freeze again.
No.
So yeah, Meatballs was just, again, the first one was a VHS that we watched regularly. You know, it was sort of like a less good Ghostbusters or whatever, but you know, you just watch anything. When I was so young, it was like Bill Murray's in this, so it's good because I like Bill Murray.
With
And
no
I
ghosts.
watched, you know, I hadn't rewatched it in a
Different
while, and
movie.
I rewatched one the other day with Steve, and it was oof. You know,
I can't watch one.
We can just recancel
What?
Bill Murray again,
I-
just
I
for
use-
like
I
every
use-
scene of Meatballs 1.
I mean, like I usually skip like even like if I'm like, oh, I want to watch Meatballs, I usually watch 2.
These movies usually
fair.
progress differently. Like to me, it's weird. This is one of those rare franchises that like it gets a teensy weensy little bit better each go round. It's still like amazingly, laughably, charmingly bad, but like there's basically no plot to Meatballs 1. It's just like Bill Murray's at a camp being Bill Murray.
It's Meatballs Part 2, right up there with Godfather Part 2 as far as plot goes.
At least
In
they're-
this series,
You know
it
You know what I
at
love
least
about
they- at
I
least
love
they
about
introduce
2.
the plot. They tease it in like Act 1 with
What
one
I
scene.
love about the plot of Part 2 is that a juvenile delinquent 30-year-old gets sentenced to camp,
Right?
and like and
The
then,
2 and
and then
4.
has- yeah, and then winds up having to take the role of defending them by boxing the opposing military camp.
yeah,
That's right. And then with the help of that alien camper,
and
from
dating
before.
underage girls.
well, that's a huge part of it too. They're real. Yeah, a lot of this stuff doesn't hold up. The Bill Murray sexual assault scene in the first movie is
Oh
rough,
my
dude.
God! Yeah.
Oh man,
that part's rough.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry,
Good
I just
Lord.
bummed everyone
Good
out, but that has
Lord,
to be
yeah,
brought
like,
up.
that's what I'm saying. Like, we could
if you're
just
gonna do
cancel him
that. You're
forever
basically
now.
naming. You're gonna name every '80s movie.
No, you're right. You're right. You're right.
You
You're
know,
absolutely right. Yeah.
I mean, well, I mean, but it's kind
Only
of true. I
3
mean,
80s movies,
we're all-
really.
well, that's why Fox won't. Disney and Fox won't play Revenge of the Nerds. They won't stream
Oh,
it a lot
really? They
because of
won't?
that plot
That
point
scene-
with Lewis and
The cheerleader.
you
Yeah.
know the
And we'll never get a Revenge of the Nerds 2 Blu-ray, except if you follow Roy Dam on social media. You'll get
Nerds
one.
in Paradise is out there. Nerds in Paradise is on streaming, but one is
Yeah, but we need it on disc.
Yeah.
Streaming's
You know,
no good.
One is
What's
the one
the
that
deal? What's
but I mean,
the deal
all
with
those movies, Porky's. I mean, that Up
Animal
the
House?
Academy, Up the Creek. All those.
We need them
Yeah.
all on disc,
Hell,
laser
Police
disc.
Academy. People have issue with Police Academy 1 now.
Well,
They're fine with 5.
Uh,
Mission to Miami.
Let's be real.
We're
People
fine
have
with that one, but
the 80s and 90s was like a different time. I mean, we talked about this briefly where like, PG-13 wasn't a thing till later on.
right.
And then it was like also like, the line of what was PG-13 was like crazy.
Well,
Like,
you know what's funny is I was just scrolling through YouTube looking up stuff on these movies, and there was like a Siskel and Ebert review on this one, and the scene
which
that
one?
they
On 2?
I'm one,
Okay.
and the scene that they show in the review is that scene with Bill Murray and the other girl, whatever, and then afterwards, Siskel or Ebert, who's the bigger one, Ebert or whatever.
Ebert.
Afterwards, he cuts back to him and he's like chuckling, and he goes, "What a crazy zany guy." He's like right after that, like it wasn't even like. That's the one they chose to show.
yeah.
So yeah, you're right. It was a different time, and they found it different.
Now you
levels
go
of funny
back.
and
Now you
yeah.
think about the fact of like all the stories of Bill Murray that have been coming out, and then on top of that, the Bill Murray notoriously being an ad-libber on scene.
Oh, he's
on
ad-libbing
camera.
through this entire
Oh,
movie.
the whole movie.
Yeah.
He never
Yep.
memorized the
No
script. Ivan Reitman
script.
in the
Yeah.
making of, and yes, there is a making of. There's a great special
Wow.
edition of Meatballs out there.
No.
Disc.
There's a
Really?
making of.
Oh yeah.
Get out. Where?
Oh, there's
I
a
looked for
great
that
special
shit.
edition. They interview Ivan Reitman.
Get the fuck out of here.
Get it? Yeah. You don't
Where's
have
this-
that?
Where's his at, though?
No.
Oh,
Well, we
yeah,
don't
it's
have
great.
it because we don't know it exists. So
Yeah,
tell
it's
us
a
where
great
does it
special-
exist?
The guy that plays the one that eats all the hot dog wieners. Can't
Oh,
think of his-
Yeah.
what's
the
his name in
token
the-
token chubby
Okay,
guy.
Token, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he was one of the cast people, and he was casting the movie, and they liked him so much they put him in the movie. Like you guys got to get this DVD. It's amazing.
They're sitting there watching him cast the movie. Like, I bet you this guy could eat some fucking hot dogs.
That's what I mean.
now.
That Ivan
Right.
Reitman just he cast, and obviously Meatballs came out. Ivan Reitman produces Animal House, and so I mean he could do whatever he wanted, carte blanche. Was able to get a Saturday Night Live member with Bill Murray. So, I mean, like, it didn't matter what they made as long as they were going to promote it like Animal House, and, there it went.
And then
But
there's Meatballs too.
stop right
I
now.
love
Chris.
meatballs too.
We're gonna
But
get
before
there.
I get there, but like the whole thing about, Meatball is like Bill Murray just improvised it all. Because
Yeah,
he knew the script was the script, but everybody was like,
You could tell.
he's just like, just go do your Bill thing.
I feel like
that's kinda what
I
you
feel
do.
like I would be shocked if there was actually any script ever written for Meatballs 1, because it's a movie where very little happens, and at the end there's like a triathlon, which is how most
Harold Ramis was one of the screenwriters.
Yeah, that's right. I saw that.
Yeah,
He came in and punched it up for him, right?
yeah, Dan Goldberg. Yeah,
Yeah.
Dan Goldberg. Basically,
Well-
they wrote it like it was originally, if I remember the documentary right, I could
play.
be wrong, but like Chris Makepeace, Rudy. It basically was Rudy's movie. It was a movie about Rudy. He goes to camp. It's from Rudy's perspective. He goes through all the stuff. Da 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 da. When they got Bill Murray, the producers are like, "Well, we have Bill Murray." So all of a sudden, you can see it. It's kind of this weird.
Right.
Is
Oh,
it
I
this-
think they.
Is it
I,
Rudy's movie? Is it Troopers?
I think if I remember
movie?
right, they screened it first, and they went back and did reshoots. This is because they realized there was just nothing really there to go back and do the reshoots with Murray and the kid and do a bunch more of those scenes.
Yeah,
So they could, because
because you had Bill Murray. I mean,
I can't imagine what the movie was before there was any of that stuff with Bill
Well,
Murray and the kid.
It's
and
just
again,
Bill
and
Murray
here's-
assaulting women at camp.
Well, here's the film. The film
90 minutes of it.
professor in me. If you look back,
It's stripes at camp.
but before that, Meatballs actually kind of started this trend of the SNL characters. What you had before that, though, is you had Bad News Bears.
Oh yeah.
Really, Meatballs comes out of Bad News Bears.
But then no
What
SNL
started
no,
happening is
no SNL guy there.
Well,
No.
it was just, but it was Bad News Bears.
Comedy legend
and
of
all of a
his
sudden
time,
there
though.
was this
Walter
onslaught of
Matthau.
kids movies. You know, the kids at camp, the kids in teams, the kids in base. You know, so Meatballs was kind of supposed to be that. It was supposed to
Right.
be like a Bad News Bears kind of.
I will give this credit. This is the first quintessential camp movie. I can't think of anything else before that, right? Like that was, yeah.
I mean, there's a couple like dumb camp movies, but yeah, I mean you know, there's the Parent Trap kind of camp movies, but
I guess it even predates Friday the 13th, so I can't
Mhm.
even say Friday the 13th is the quintessential camp
now
movie.
this classic though.
Okay, let's get into two. Let's get into
Okay.
Let's please. I am with Mickey.
That's a first.
There's Terminator 2. All right.
God.
There's freaking there's Critters 2, and then there's Meatballs Part 2. Sequels sometimes are better than the first.
With the great Kim Richards. Oh,
what
such a
bar.
crush on her.
Kim Richards, Pee Wee Herman.
Such a crush.
You could throw any 5 sequels at me, and at least 4 of them are going to be better than the original Meatballs film.
Richard Mulligan, come on.
There's so much good stuff, but Meatballs, dude, it had a
Meatballs
fucking alien.
2. Here's what I love about
it had
Meatballs
an alien.
2. So you know how like E.T. You know how like E.T. is like one of the greatest movies of all time. It was one of the biggest blockbusters ever when it came out.
Yeah.
And then you had E.T. the game, and it was one of the biggest flops of all time. Like Meatballs 2 feels like it's an adaptation of E.T. the Atari game.
You know what?
Somehow,
I'm gonna go controversial on here. Meatballs Part 2 does better with an alien than Mac and Me.
Yes.
Well, that's
two fingers,
debatable.
sir.
This is a better. This is. I don't.
This looks like a paper mache head
you know what?
on a child.
Give me Meathead. Give me Meathead all day.
Just for the title alone, we need to do Mac and Me too.
Meathead.
Meathead. Yeah, Meathead.
The best part of that movie is when they're all sitting there at the boxing match at the end of it, and that alien is in a rain slicker in the crowd, not moving at all in between all those kids. And this alien has gone to summer camp with these kids for weeks, and no one has picked up on any of this.
But you find out what a pinky is.
Yep.
Does she see? Oh, she does see his dick.
She does see a pinky.
That's her entire arc in the movie.
Steve.
Just to finally see it.
Yes, that was.
This is a PG movie.
It's a pinky.
Oh, it's a pinky. It's a pinky. I'm sorry.
It was a different.
That's
time.
not till 4.
A different time. But so Meatballs 2, I watched on Comedy Central, and that's just a fine way as any pretty much to watch any Meatballs 2. And I was shocked to see that Pee Wee Herman and Donald Gibb are in it. Always love to see Ogre in action. Speaking of Revenge of the Nerds.
Oh, that's right, Donald.
Yep.
Meatballs Part 2 is the kitchen sink of all movies, and I cannot
it's
thank
the 80s,
it enough for
it's
being
the 80s wrapped in one. It's the
you got like Travolta meets D'Annunzio as like your hunky heartthrob dude.
That dude
like
was 35. In a lot of movies too. He was cool. A lot of movies.
Oh yeah, he was very cool.
Hey,
but I'll tell you what, Meatballs 3 found 2 legends before they were anything, and they were like, we're gonna make a movie out of these.
I have an issue though with 3.
What's the issue?
Just
my
one
issue is you came off this classic, and now you're gonna try to go back to 1. I don't care about Rudy, and 1, they're ruining Rudy's reputation.
Oh,
how does Rudy?
Sir,
at the end of Meatballs 1, Rudy is going to be that kid is on a journey to be cool now.
No, he's
and
not.
Then they turn
he's gonna go
Rudy
back to school, and all the same fucking kids that know him are gonna go back to bullying
Ian,
him.
Can I ask you a question real quick?
Sure.
Clarify something for me. Okay, I know I understood seeing it that 3 is the only one that's canonical to the first one, right?
Yeah.
But are you telling me that Patrick Dempsey in Part 3 is supposed to be Rudy from the first one?
Yes, yeah. He's supposed to be Chris Makepeace from the first one.
But he comes in the third one and he says, my uncle owned this place and I'm supposed to go work for him.
My Uncle Trooper. Uncle Trooper.
Oh, it's not real uncle.
Uncle, yeah.
So then he just gets him a job there. He sells it to a maniac biker and then just
and then starts a mud wrestling.
Oh,
circus.
I didn't realize that's supposed to. So Patrick Dempsey's supposed to be the kid from the first one. I didn't get that.
Yeah.
I thought
Yeah.
they should have explained that better.
Well, they really didn't
Well,
want to be like, hey, you remember that
wasn't
first
his-
film where nothing
Remember this
happened?
first?
Wasn't he called Rudy?
Yeah, he's called
I
Rudy
don't
in
know,
it, yeah.
Mickey.
So,
I don't
I
fucking
mean, like,
know.
I think that's all the explanation you need. Oh, it's Rudy.
Whatever.
Now, after that part, after that though, like I said, Meatballs I Summer Job is a pretty doggone good USA Up All Night, 11 o'clock at night. Gilbert Gottfried introduced.
Oh, it's
movie.
a fantastic one.
You know, I'm
And
okay.
I'll tell
with
you
that.
what, they put Patrick Dempsey on the path, and they put Shannon Tweed on the path. They were both
So-
like,
And you know,
no-name
actually, this was
people.
filmed. This was filmed before he did Heaven Help Us. This
Yeah,
literally
yeah,
was
before
Patrick
Can't Buy Me
Dempsey's.
Love, before everything. Yeah,
Yeah.
This was his
Yeah.
first movie, but they held it because
Really?
it couldn't get
Distribution.
distribution correctly, and so they held the movie for like 3 years. It's kind of like a Bill and Ted situation. So then all of a sudden Patrick Dempsey does all these movies, and the studio's like, well, I guess we could release it now because he's a
Oh.
star. But I'm telling you right now, you can't find Meatballs 3 anywhere.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
looked. Yeah.
And I'm telling you, it's because Patrick Dempsey has something to do with that. I
you
will
know what I
stand-
think? I honestly think also it may have something to do with music licensing.
Oh,
Because
yeah,
Meatballs 3 is the one film. Like, first of all, there's like no score in the first or the second. Which one was it? I think the first
Second
film has
one.
like the second
There's-
one.
Are
there's
you
literally
ready for
The
the
second one has
summer?
the one needle drop at the beginning
Are
and
you
the same
ready
one at the
for a
end.
good time?
Almost
There's-
no music.
There's
a little
weirdly
bit.
no music or no score. in
Mickey,
the
do a
second one
rock
at
and
all.
roll song to that. I
Yeah.
just wanted to
And the
get
third
that
one
riff
had
in,
like
just-
Hot Girls in Love and like
Are you
actual
ready
pop
for the
music.
summer?
So
Yeah.
that may
Are
be
you
part of the
ready for
reason.
the good
because
times?
So in the third
'Cause-
one, Patrick Dempsey plays the most unlikable character ever portrayed in film, and
Yes,
he is reluctantly put upon by a dead porn star sent back to Earth to try to help him finally get laid, which he's into desperately, but only if it's with supermodels that are so far out of his league you can't even
This
imagine.
is a real movie, folks.
Right?
We're
This
not
is
making this
and
up.
yeah.
the
This is a real
culmination of
movie.
this is, by the way,
It's
this,
like-
this one
it's
doesn't have
basically
camp
like-
in it. Yeah, because he decides to go to work for the summer instead of go to camp at this biker bar on a lake. And the culmination of this movie comes to him tricking the townspeople and everyone that's been, against him through this whole movie and bullying him into believing that he had sex with his boss's sister wife.
Yep.
Yeah, right. And then once they believe that he pulled this off, everyone loves him. Meanwhile, he is awful through this entire movie. He is cruel to the only friend he has that he hates.
Because he
He's-
learned
he-
it from the first
Oh yeah,
camp.
that's the best. Too. Like,
Yeah, right.
his-
Because he's
his friends.
this is
like
even worse now that I know it's the
Bill
same
Murray
kid.
was his role model, so
Yeah,
obviously
it's pretty much Pretty in Pink, but for a-holes. It's
Yeah,
kind of
right.
what
But
it's
his friend is like Annie Potts. His friend is like the cool new wave punk, and he's like, "Oh my god, no!" Like, it's
I won't-
ridiculous.
You want to make I have to get to heaven. I have to get this angel to heaven if I sleep with you. Hey, you can sleep with me. I don't want to sleep with you.
Right.
No, I'm going to go after Shannon Tweed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
So ridiculous.
That's
So
why
ridiculous,
that's
yeah.
the lowest on my list is 3.
But you know what? The first two have very few moments that are worth remembering. The third one at least has
What?
one.
What?
Yes, I'm serious. Like the
Meathead.
alien. The alien, you remember
Meathead.
that? You remember
Well,
me?
then-
Paul
and you
Rubens,
remember
come on. When he comes in as the
bus driver?
Harry Krishna, come on.
that's okay. All right. There's a few. But
Hey,
to me,
I'm
Meatballs
Boomer.
3, like him
know,
with the
I'm
salami
Boomer.
down his fucking pants, I always remember that moment.
Boomer.
I'll always
Flat-
remember that.
Flash.
The lake is that way.
Both of those are
giddy.
very
Oh,
confusing parts to both those movies.
And if anybody deserves any credit in Meatballs Part 2, it's John Larroquette for being brave to do this. I swear, John Larroquette did that voice for that soldier because I think he wanted to get fired and they just wouldn't.
Oh,
It was
he's the best part of that movie. He is
I'm-
above
But I'm
and
telling
beyond
you,
the best
he
part
did
of
that
movie.
to get fired, and the director's like, "This is great." He's like, "Damn it!"
Yeah, he was trying to act so bad that he could get fired.
They get fired, and they did.
All right.
They just kept it.
He's too good
So-
to act bad.
But he
Like, you
did
can't-
Stripes first, and then he did this. That's the part that boggles my mind.
Meathead.
All right. We got to
Mickey,
talk
you're
about the
fat.
crown
Hey.
jewel. We got to
Right.
talk about the crown jewel of the franchise, and we all know what it is, folks.
Thank you, Bob Logan.
4 is great.
It's part 4.
4 is great
Mickey,
too.
Mickey, is this your favorite? 4?
No, my favorite is 2.
Okay. Oh, okay.
But-
Right. You
but
said that. I'm sorry.
after 2, it's 4 because
Well,
of
I-
Corey,
no,
because
I'm
of
with
one
Mickey.
man.
I'm with Mickey.
Because of one man and one man only.
It's
Corey Feldman.
it's
Fell
2,
dog.
4, 1, 3 for me.
I got a hot
yeah.
take here. I hate adult Corey Feldman.
Right?
Well, you know,
Yeah.
I bought.
This was the start of the Michael Jackson dancing.
Oh
too.
yeah. Well, I bought.
Yeah.
I bought choreography just so I could read about Meatballs 4, Meatballs to the Rescue.
Oh my
That's
God.
Henry.
Was it worth it?
No, because he's like, I did a movie called Ski School, and all of a sudden some movie came out called, and they slapped Meatballs on it. I passed. I was like, all right, like
Like,
way to
mean
kill
he
my
already
passed?
a
childhood.
franchise with Dean Cameron. Now,
Yeah,
here's what I
exactly.
like about Meatballs 4 is it really is water ski school.
Yeah.
If you watch
Or
the
that's what
first
they called it.
two
It was water skis or ski school.
water
Yeah.
ski school, water ski academy.
Can
or
you
something,
give
yeah.
us like a brief synopsis of Meatballs 4?
Yeah,
I
explain
did the
Meatballs
first.
4.
I did the first two.
You want me to do it?
Yeah.
Ian, you
Yeah,
go
you
for
do it. You go ahead.
All right, so there's this camp, right? And it's got
Mhm.
the racer head guy
Lakeside.
owns this camp, Charles Nance.
A different camp.
A different camp, totally different camp. And of course, like every camp, there's another camp across the lake who is their enemy, which is why
Richard
I said
Snootier Camp.
we should have called this episode Meatballs 5 Camp Beef, because they always have beef with the lake, the camp
Oh.
across the lake.
That's pretty good.
Oh,
You
that's a
should have
pretty
called
good
it that.
title.
Yeah.
I posted that, sir, and you denied it.
I denied it. I don't
Denied
deny
it. That's
things.
all right. I digress. But anyway,
Well, you also
Two-
suggested Parmesan Nights, so you win either
did
way.
I do that?
You did. That was yours.
I thought that was Mickey. Well, anyway.
Not me.
Anyway, in order to save his camp, he hires a director who's going to make this the best summer water ski camp of their lives. And
How
that
does
is
this director? How
Corey
does this
Feldman.
new camp director enter into the fray? I mean, do they have any kind of intro scene for him?
Oh yeah, he parachutes in.
Like out of a plane.
Yes.
On
Yeah.
like a
It's
water surfboard thing.
With a boombox around
Yes.
the
he
camp.
trashes like a fucking $300 boombox just to be like, hey,
and
I'm
then-
a wild and crazy cool
Quick,
guy.
quick caveat. This is a summer camp strictly for adults.
Yes, the youngest
Weirdly
campers
enough,
there look
there
to
are
be
no
about
children at this summer
35
camp.
years old.
Yes.
Steve, that's where you're wrong. In the
No,
script, it's
they're-
supposed to be
they're
high
teens.
schoolers.
They're high schoolers. They're high schoolers.
They're
for
all
sure.
they're all adult
Yes.
supermodels in this
I
one.
know.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, okay.
Those
okay,
are the-
so-
The geek
Those are
is
the
45 years old and has
Those are
a
the
pension
non
plan.
the
Like I mean, it's
main actors are the adults.
They cast exclusively runners-up from the Bikini Car Wash franchise.
pretty
and,
much.
Yeah.
You know,
You
and,
either
and
went
it,
in one of those or
and it does
Meatballs
its-
4.
and it does its thing. If you want, great friends of ours from Staunch Network or Staunch TV, they did a great interview with Bob Logan, the director, where he goes through the whole story about the making of Meatballs 4, Meatballs to the Rescue.
Staunch is like the best 90s comfort food
It's
on
great.
YouTube.
It's
I'm
great.
telling
They
you,
did a
it's
whole
such
thing.
a great, yeah.
But at the very end, of course, it's the whole. It's kind of like the first one all over again. At the very end of it, they've got to do a competition, and they even have what's the it just doesn't matter scene from the first one. Corey Feldman has one of those speeches and does everything. But I'll be honest, everybody has fun on that movie. Like you can just tell it's a fun movie.
I can see that.
And it's just it's dumb at the right kind of dumbness, I feel.
It is dumb.
It's funny. Every movie I feel like is like 2 steps forward and 1 step back. with each film. They get a little bit better, but they also find like a new way to kind of mess things up a little
But
bit.
this is entertaining as hell, man. Like you could throw this on at any time, and you wouldn't be like, "Oh man, I can't watch this."
Except
I
for
don't know, just not
except for
me.
the Michael Jackson dance. I could do without
I can watch
do
that
without
too.
the rip off because they rip off Black and White clear as day.
Well, that's
Whatever
Corey
that song
Feldman.
is,
He
it's
even
like
he even does that.
Oh my God, yes,
Yeah.
yeah, it's so blatantly.
He
Yeah,
even
they
This
does.
use
one,
that as a temp
this
track
He
one
and
even
is
name
refuse to-
drops Michael Jackson too. Look at Michael Jackson.
this one is the truest of raunchy sex comedies that these movies have been morphing into, have been going towards.
Oh yeah.
This one, I
Oh,
think,
yeah.
finally gets there.
I think this was like the last of those though, because right about 90, 92, 93, we went away from that kind of thing, and I think really the era of like the 90s family comedy
That's
started to kind of
true.
come in.
Well, I mean, we did have all those like what are they, like National Lampoon's Big
We also
Tits
had,
or
like-
whatever. I don't know. I don't know
Well,
what
the
they're
next
called.
the next one was like
Lampoon's
heavy. I
Big
mean, the next one was
Yeah.
like heavyweights. I mean, come on, after
Yes,
the
no,
camp-
you're right.
Well, no,
yeah.
even the
Camp
direct-to-video
movies.
ones, we had like My Mom is a Werewolf and The Skateboard Kid 1 and
Yep.
2, and
Yep.
you know,
Yeah.
A Dangerous
Mom is
Place
a
with
Werewolf,
also Corey
Chris.
Feldman.
That's a
This
great
is
movie.
why we're friends.
My Mom is a Werewolf is a great ass movie.
The great
It's-
the fucking goat.
He's
So
trying to shave her legs.
I've never seen this. My mom is a
So
werewolf.
we are well.
Oh, look it
oh,
up, sir. Look it
I
up.
will.
We
I will
are,
right after this.
We are well past the half-hour pitch mark. It is time
All
for
right.
us to imagine how you do a Meatballs 5. I see Mickey with his hand raised, but I also
Listen.
just want to let everyone in the chat know we want your pitches as well. I will catch up on the comments too before we get to pitches. Gold's Code says salute your shorts was like a Meatballs but for kids.
Yeah,
Kinda
it
interesting
was.
Point.
Yeah.
Never thought of it like that.
A
He also
summer
says
camp with
Meatballs
children
2.
in it.
He also says Meatballs 2 better than Godfather 2.
Thank
Some
you.
love for Mac and me in the chat. Gold's Code has some pitches, and I will get into those in a sec. So he also says I don't care what your ranking are. I agree Meatballs 4 is the best. And now some Kyle 2.0. Imagine my mom is a queer wolf. God, I want to see that movie. MK, that would be great. Holy shit. Okay, so do you want to go first, Mickey, or should we let Sean Gold take the honors?
Go. Let Sean Gold take the honors.
Don't.
Because I know I'm gonna
Don't
love
ruin
this pitch.
episode.
And Ian's gonna hate it.
All right. Sean Gold's first pitch. Mitchell takes a summer job as a camp counselor, only to realize the rival camp is run by the preps. Now Mitchell must train his campers to skate for the summer win. Meatballs v. Airballs. Oh my God. Sean Gold, you've outdone yourself.
Although I will say this, the fact you just said air balls, I'm kind of
Come
in.
on.
I know.
Come on.
I'm kind of in.
So
And
goddamn good.
I'm kind of
And
in for
honestly,
air
it's-
balls.
it-
Just the title alone is worth it. Air balls.
I don't know that
So like it could be a hockey camp.
It could be anything, right?
And they don't
It's the
think he can
best.
skate, but he can
That's
skate.
street hockey.
Yeah,
Get
and
it.
then like you can morph Mighty Ducks in there too.
Mm.
I love it. Meat
Bring in
pucks.
all the meat
Meat
pucks.
Not meat pucks.
Gross.
Yeah, meat pucks.
There you go.
All right, Mickey,
Oh
what do
my
you got?
God. Yeah,
So-
yeah.
So there is no sequel that needs to happen unless two things happen.
Okay.
Number one, Corey Feldman needs to be in it. Number
enough.
two, Meathead needs to return
Yes.
back to camp.
Yes.
And he's bringing his kid with him because he wants the kid to experience camp life like he experienced. And that's where Ricky Wade comes in because Meathead missed the camp. Meathead has been watching from the great skies above, and he saw Ricky Wade parachute down and everything else like that. And he's like, damn, my kid's got to go back to camp. I got to show my kid the
I gotta
love.
show my kids summer camp.
I got to
You want a meathead centric.
Yeah,
Please.
it's got to
Yeah,
be
get
Meathead.
outta here. No
Meathead
way,
2,
no
the next
way.
generation.
Yeah. So literally, it's really Meathead, Meatballs Part 5,
So let me ask you: Is
or
it
Meatballs
like
Part 5, Meathead Returns.
Is it like a buddy comedy with Meathead and Corey Feldman?
Yeah,
Is that really
because
what
now
it is?
because the thing is, it's like
You
Meathead.
basically want a gnome named Norm.
No, he wants Dream a Little Dream 3, but with Meathead instead of Corey Haim.
So, like,
Meathead goes to the director, which is Ricky Wade. Says, "I'm bringing my son."
is shithead adult Corey Feldman trying to utilize Meathead's powers to make it more like a Zapped movie? Is this still like a raunchy teen sex comedy?
But I mean, like Sarah Douglas is still with us, right?
She is.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, she
I
is
do think
Superman.
there's
so
something
she
with
could be after Revenge too.
See, but I like Corey Feldman as a villain now. I think that would actually be kind of more interesting.
How about if Patrick Dempsey opens up a camp and he's got Bill Murray just fucking wandering around all like Bill Murray's all shot out and old now, and he's just like a crazy wandering guy who the kids don't really know why he's there, whatever. But he opens up a camp. He could bring Corey Feldman back in. He could
With Meathead.
Meathead, of course.
Meathead,
Of course.
Meathead
He's
is
so
a camp
stuck.
counselor. Meathead
Right.
is a camp
He's
counselor.
got Meathead is now a counselor. He's a CP.
You can bring
what are they
Flash
called?
too.
I feel
Yeah.
like Ian. I feel like I know that Ian is going to want to take everything you're saying and raise the bar even higher. But before
it.
he does that, there is one more pitch in the live chat, and it's a Meathead centric pitch. So I do want to
Okay
read
with
that,
this.
and of course it comes from Sean Gold again of
All
Gold's
right, I'm
Code.
out.
It's not an airborne pitch. It's not an airborne pitch.
Lies.
I don't believe you.
His pitch is Meathead returns to camp to enroll his children, but
Wait
doesn't
for
realize
it.
how much time has passed. Now
Wait
he must
for it.
find his old friends who are all grown up. Meatballs
for it.
5. Navigate this. Beautiful callback to
Nice.
last week's Play the
He
Navigator
did.
episode.
My gosh.
Mm.
That's not.
But
That's
see-
nice.
And I love
That's
the
nice.
fact that
Well
again, Meathead is the center of the movie. You
Yes,
gotta have
he
you
should
gotta
be.
have I don't want any sequel that doesn't have Meathead.
Right.
See,
And
I
it-
talk-
you
I-
won't make.
Here's
me-
I
another
talked
one.
about
Here's
this
another one in the
okay.
chat with Meathead. Gold's
I've
Code
talked-
again. Meatballs 5. Victor takes over the camp only to find out he has no idea how to run it. Luckily, Meathead returns and it quickly becomes a buddy comedy of two strangers learning to work together to save the day.
Can I just
Beautiful.
acknowledge, though, my favorite part about Meathead?
Wonderful.
The fact that basically his parents are basically Jewish in space. Like
Yes,
love
I did catch that.
Like the dad basically is Jackie Mason, like a bad Jackie Mason impersonation.
Yeah.
Like it's like, what? You need to go to camp? Well, we spend all this money.
it's
The
ridiculous.
only movie in history
Oh
that's
my
ever had that
God.
as
Yeah.
a voice. Like,
Maybe
I
maybe
love
maybe
choice
maybe,
ever.
maybe Meathead goes back home and tells him all about the fun and everything he did, in camp, and his parents are like, "We gotta buy the camp." So now
How
his
about-
fucking parents buy the camp.
How about they start a camp on their own planet? It's just an entire movie, all of meatheads.
Well, they go to camp, so the
You
kids
go
can
to
go to
camp.
camp.
What you want,
His-
Highlander 2, The Quickening of Meatheads? That's what
Yes.
you want.
Oh
That's
my
what I
god.
want.
The kids go
With
to
the
space-
hoverboard, where the sequence
With the
of
hoverboard,
hoverboards and
Michael
them getting high,
Ironside.
yes.
The kids can go to space camp.
Ooh,
They're basically,
I want that.
Space
I want
camp.
Michael Ironside as the jerk across the way. I do know
Oh,
that.
that's got to be a military camp. If
Yes.
I'm fine with it. Give me Michael
Oh.
Ironside as
maybe it's like UFO like chasers and all UFO things. So it's like a big thing. So maybe these kids go to camp to investigate UFOs or whatever like that, and fucking Meathead comes, and they end up getting beamed up to Meathead's planet,
Meathead will definitely
and
be
then
there,
and
Mickey.
but like the kids are all sad because they're not having a good time. So Meathead decides all right, you know what, I need to bring the camp to our planet. So he beams up Twin Oaks or the another camp too. So now
he
they gotta
abducts multiple summer camps.
so now they gotta do the two rivals because he remembers the best part of camp was the rivalry with the military camp. Maybe he brings the military camp back up to space.
You just did Interstellar. You're doing Interstellar in space.
Why are we in space?
Because it's
That's the thing.
Meathead's
What?
it's Meathead's movie.
I actually
on
kind
their
of like him
planet?
doing a Matrix version of Meatballs. I do.
Yeah,
like
right.
this.
And then you have
like it.
alien
I like it.
chicks too. You have alien chicks.
Topless
And like
alien
that.
chicks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you gotta have
Yeah.
them topless. Gotta have them topless.
Don't
You
you
gotta
want
have
the
your
total
Howard Duck
recall
moment.
girl to come in here? Like what?
Yeah,
I do.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
and then
All right.
then you gotta bring Hillary back too. You gotta bring Hillary back because she was hot. So you gotta bring her. Hillary's
That's a
the
great-
Asian chick from 4.
Oh, she was very attractive. Yes.
Mhm.
Anyway, all right.
We're canceled. We're
And-
so
and-
canceled.
Bring Thigpen think Penn comes back too. Him and Hillary. Maybe him and Hillary start the camp themselves.
Hey, this is a great summer, guys.
And Meathead is all over this thing. I mean, there's no point in making a movie if Meathead is.
Look,
the
all I
center.
know, look, I don't know where to take. Can I? I've talked to Chris about this idea before. All right. I don't know where we would ever do a Meatballs 5, but I have the ultimate.
Well, you wouldn't, because
ending.
nobody goes to camp.
Well, the truth, but I'm just saying, like, plot wise, the only thing I can think of honestly is if you did a like an SNL like I don't know, like Kenan Thompson is now the camp counselor. I mean, and he's you basically
Yeah, Good Burger at camp.
Oh, so you want to do
I don't
like
know,
an SNL alumni based Meatballs?
I do know this. Like, either you got to be in camp Meatballs 1 and 2 where it's kind of kid friendly, or you have to
It would only be kids camp, because that's the only
4
camps
where it's like adult territory. Wherever you take the movie, it has to be in either one category or the other. Like, there's no middle ground.
Right. Heart and family friendly, or like murder and tits.
Yeah, like, I mean, that's but I will say this. I've always hated series that do not tie together. I will say that bugs me the most out of like the Hellraiser series, freaking Critters, like they're all over the place. And I like our Halloween. Like, I want,
but that's why you gotta
movie.
have. That's why you gotta have it like that. Like, as far as like how like now they're doing the movies that like, oh, we're gonna forget parts 2 through 4.
Oh, I hate that.
And we're gonna only go with that.
Lazy
So,
writing.
You could have meatballs that forgets everything else, but Meatballs 2.
So
this is what I want.
The other one no one's seen.
This is the ultimate like Marvel end credit scene you will ever have in a movie. All right.
Yeah, we've talked about this.
All right. So the camera starts off in the woods. It's all one shot, and it pans over, right? And it's a campfire. And there's freaking Corey Feldman, and he's saying like, "No, man, in my day, we did this at a ski camp. We did this, we did that. We did everything. I even danced." Pans over. Patrick Dempsey's like, "Are you kidding me? I had an angel. I tried to make it with an angel," right? Pans away from Patrick Dempsey. There's Meathead. Oh, guys, I don't know. I just thought camp was cool. I slept over in a shit house. Ugh. And it pans over, and it finally stops on Bill Murray, who looks at the camera and goes, "It just doesn't matter." Boom. End. That's it. You just tied all 4 movies together in one shot.
I'm not gonna lie, Ian. I love that.
That's
great.
I
love that. I do.
There has to be a movie before the end.
You have to earn that. You have to earn that.
Have that on YouTube, and it's 1 million hits.
You have to earn that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I earn that. And I was thinking,
that. Ooh, that could be a Super Bowl commercial.
Wouldn't it be great? And then Meatballs 5, boom.
Right,
I was thinking
coming this summer.
That would be the best trailer. Yeah, that would be the best trailer ever.
As soon as I saw Meathead on the screen, I'd be like, "That's take my money, please."
Chris, what are your thoughts?
So, I've
good luck, Chris.
This ending before, and I love it too. I love it just as much as anything. But like I said, you have to earn it. So my AirPods keep going on and off. It's really weird. Sorry if my voice shifts. But at any rate, so what if on one side
that's called your AirPods are dropping, Chris. How about that?
Oh, sorry. My AirPods are dropping. Whatever. I don't know. My AirPods are sliding into my DMs. I don't know what people say.
The old age. The old age is creeping.
I don't think
it's getting to me. Good Lord. I'm gonna have a stroke. So you want everything to tie together, right? You have to earn that. On one side of the lake, you have Corey Feldman's water ski school camp. On the other side of the lake, you have Rudy running like a space camp kind of thing.
Why did you make Rudy a nerd? Why does everybody make Rudy a nerd? He's not a nerd after the first movie.
He's
a
nerd.
Piece of shit in the third movie.
He's a piece of shit in the third movie, and he puts a fucking sausage down his pants while he's hooking up with a chick. It's ridiculous. He does that on a
Saturday.
He forgets to take the sausage out of his pants.
Forgets
the problem.
to take the sausage out. Yes, when she's rounding bases.
And she thinks she pulled his dick off.
It really is a terrible movie.
It really
It's
is.
really, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry.
So you have to have this all tie in together somehow. And the space camp situation, it is time to go to space, right? You need like space beef or space meat or something like that. And that's how you get Meathead into it. And all you need to do is figure out a way to get Bill Murray into it somehow. I don't really know what he would be doing, what Tripper would be doing now, but I have a pretty good idea that he would
Maybe,
be in jail or dead.
but maybe he discovered Meathead first. Maybe
Tripper?
he's been there all along. Like he was like
Maybe what if Meathead is Tripper?
Tripper is Meathead.
Reincarnated.
Meathead is Tripper.
Oh, he can do like the Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey thing, when like
He
like
split.
yeah, like Pam Grier, like zips down and it's
Oh.
Oh my
Wait,
gosh,
this-
are you kidding?
so
I
he's-
got an idea. Wait a
he
minute. Wait a minute.
strips down, like he like zips down, and it's Meathead.
We
He's
don't even
Bill
need a
Murray all the
Meatballs
time.
5. I just cracked the code, guys. We don't even need a Meatballs 5. What we need is Mac and Meathead, the worst alien movie ever made.
It's
It's a buddy cop movie where Meathead
Oh my
and
God.
Mac from Mac and Me get together and they push disabled children off cliffs.
You
'cause
could
that's
make
what
that
happens in
movie
Mac and Me.
tomorrow and
I
no
want to
one would
throw
care.
up.
No one would say
I throw
anything
up
to you.
watching that. Those are two of the ugliest
Well,
aliens in cinema
they are.
history mixed together for hours.
I'm not a fan of Mac and Me. I'm not a fan of
Oh
Mac
God,
and Me.
no!
No?
It's a love triangle
But I-
movie.
but I
they
wouldn't
both fall in
lie.
love with the same like alien creature, and they're just ruining their friendship.
They
Oh.
fall
What, the
in love
first
with
alien for my stepmother's an alien? Like, what is that?
Oh,
They-
fuck, dude! You're
they
going
fall
next
in
level
love with
now.
Kathy
Tying
Ireland.
it all in.
They fall in
Kathy
love
Ireland.
with Kathy Ireland.
Oh,
was in
yeah,
that
from
alien
LA.
movie. Yep.
Oh.
Oh man, we've done it.
We've
That's
done
it.
it.
It happened here.
Meatballs
Yeah, but how
5.
do you bring
That
back
makes
Shannon
just as
Tweed?
much
Can we
sense
bring
as
back
any other
Shannon
Meatballs
Tweed?
movie.
Oh yeah, you got to bring back Shannon Tweed.
Shannon Tweed is
I
probably
fucking-
one of the only redemptions of 3. And
You
my
gotta
I
make them
want
count,
Mean
Kaz.
Gene. I
You
want to
can
bring
have
back
all
Mean
them.
Gene.
Wait, you can
Mean
tie
Gene's
every.
not alive.
You can
There's no
tie
way
everybody
anymore.
in. You can tie everybody in as camp counselors. And the
Yeah.
and the director, the main director would be Ricky Wade, would be Corey Feldman. But you can have Dempsey as a camp counselor. You can have Shannon Tweed as a camp counselor. You can have Meathead as a camp counselor.
You're gonna put Ricky Wade. Ricky Wade's in charge.
It's a geriatric
Yeah.
camp.
The inmates are just running the asylum.
Can you imagine Ricky Wade being in charge of like Patrick Dempsey?
Well, here's the thing. Again, you gotta like convince these actors. If you made one of them race car camp, Patrick Dempsey would be like, "Okay, I'm in. I like car racing." You just throw him that bone. They're all over all these camps around a lake, and you got car racing and space, and
You get a 50-50
water
shot.
skiing.
Bill Murray might just show up.
At least for a cameo.
Maybe.
Maybe.
He could be a bus driver.
Oh,
You won't know until
God,
the
I got
day.
it. Here's how you get Bill Murray in there, right? I when I don't know what to do, I have one emergency brake open hatch. And because Bill Murray's always wanted to play a ghost in a Ghostbusters movie, let him play a fucking ghost in Meatballs 5. Let
Oh
him come
my
back
God,
as a
that's
ghost.
great. Yeah, he
The
should come
ghost of
back as a
Tripper would
ghost.
be awesome.
That brings
Oh.
everyone back together. Tripper's died, and everyone comes for the funeral, including Meathead.
Oh
Right?
yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
you
yeah.
could,
Ghost
yeah,
of
he
Tripper
is a,
Hunting.
he
Oh
is
my
a
gosh!
camp
So you just
legend.
made. All right. So you made
He is a
Indian
camp legend.
Summer now,
He's a camp legend.
Yeah,
or it's a
He's-
big chill. It's a big meatball chill.
right.
Oh.
Yes, yes.
He has
And
to
everyone's
no, yeah,
everyone's
I get
coming
it.
into town.
It's
I'm
like
intrigued.
the spirit of camp. It's like the spirit of
I'm
Camp
definitely
Firewood.
intrigued.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
It's very much like the spirit of Camp Firewood, and it's like the spirit of Tripper. You just have to be carefree and not give a fuck. And
Oh,
even
but I
Ricky
kinda want
Wade has
Morty.
lost his way. Even Ricky Wade doesn't have the spirit of Tripper anymore. Patrick
kinda want
Dempsey's beaten
Morty, though.
down. What?
I want Morty though.
Morty.
Morty? You want Morty? You know
I
what
do
else
want Morty.
was in? Morty was in a little film known as Eddie and the Cruisers too.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want Morty.
Mhm.
There you go.
Yes, you do.
I don't
Yes,
want
you
Morty.
do.
Wait, you would cast. Wait, who's Morty?
Morty
He's
was
the fucking
the
camp owner in
head
one.
counselor in the
Oh,
first
right,
one.
right. He's
Mustache,
not alive.
mustache.
Hi,
either, though,
Marty.
Ian, anymore.
I think
Morty.
he's alive actually.
He is
Really?
actually. He's on.
So
He's on the
why couldn't-
making of. You
why
guys have
wouldn't
got to
he-
get this DVD.
So Eddie
Why
and the
wouldn't he be there?
Cruisers or Rock Solid could be the camp entertainment.
You're
Oh,
disgusting.
get out. I love it.
Oh man!
You think
Imagine-
You
Imagine,
get
like,
right out of here.
Meathead
You-
would be like rocking to the smooth tones of Eddie and the Cruisers or Rock
my God.
Solid. It's
You
an
think-
emotional thing.
You think you're putting
So-
Corey Feldman in a movie where he's not the music entertainment?
Yeah, I know. That's kind of.
Oh, fair point. So to your point,
hate
Ian,
adult Corey
there's a pitch in
Feldman.
the chat. Xander Mars says, "Can we have it take an extra 'Are you afraid of the dark' twist around a fire pit? The movie's literally just horror stories back in the day." That's interesting.
Not meatballs where it's like a bloody meatballs. Like
Oh,
what?
you can make it like a Tales from the Crypt, basically, or like
Meatballs.
like or creep
Camp
show.
stories.
Creep show.
Honestly, that kind of is kind of a fun idea. Like a camp
If it was
horror
camp
anthology.
stories, but they were told around a campfire with those four people, Ian, that you were talking about before, how that started out, and then the whole movie is Bill Murray, Corey Feldman, Patrick Dempsey, and Meathead telling the stories, I would watch that.
Although I would honestly, I really want to get Paul Rubens in that campfire too. I just think
Oh yeah,
that-
you got to.
Yeah,
gotta have
sure, why
Paul
not?
Rubens.
Yeah,
The-
And you got to get Ogre. You got to get Donald Gibb.
he's in 2 seconds of that movie.
Yeah, he's not as important as Paul Rubens. Though.
Oh, go fart yourself. Don't you ever
Oh,
say
I'll put
Ogre's not
Donald. I'll put
important.
Donald.
I mean,
Bring
you can put
Donald
him in-
Gibb into this conversation. I'll put him in any movie. I don't care. It's Donald Gibb. Like, give that
Fuck.
man the respect he deserves.
That's right.
Put Barry Gibb in this. I'll watch this.
Hey, forget you, Ryan Reynolds in Deadpool. I want Donald Gibb in the Deadpool suit. This is a movie
oh
I
my
want.
god.
How great would that be though if he heard this? All of a sudden, Ryan Reynolds, like for one scene, put in Donald Gibb, and he's just as Deadpool. It's like, see,
Or
did it.
Meathead.
or Meathead. Ah,
Meathead could
Deadpool.
definitely be a Deadpool. He could be like he had
Like
different.
he has
there
the
was different
best.
Deadpools.
Meathead has the best voice. I don't want to go to camp. Mm.
That is the
Yeah.
worst ADR I've ever heard in
I
any movie.
know.
It's so ridiculous.
Meathead sounds like Meteor Man's dog when he's like, yeah, and call your uniform.
Did you say that? Wait,
I don't
Ian,
want to go to camp.
I don't know why,
Right.
but my mind is going back here. Did you say there was a documentary on Meatballs, the making of
Yes, there
Meatballs
is.
2? Meatballs
Have
Part
you
2?
been with us? at all
No,
tonight?
just one. Only
Just
Just
one.
one?
zoned out for the last hour.
There's none on Meatballs Part 2?
No,
Oh,
no. The
fuck.
world has
You
forgotten.
mean to tell me Laurent Bosreau never put together an Academy Award-winning documentary
Right? I know.
on
Can we-
Meatballs?
Can we
fucking
talk?
3
Can
or
we
4?
talk to the man? Can we talk to the man? I mean, is there any
I'm
way
sure you could. I'm sure
It-
he's available.
the internet world put this into the world?
like I
Like,
said,
we need to
there's
talk to the
there's-
director and writer of Meatballs Part
There's a
2.
great, like I said, Staunch did a great interview with Bob Logan about the making of 4, which is I've watched several times. It's
Yes.
fantastic.
Yes.
And then there's the making of on the first one, but 2
so
and
we
3
need one
are
on
just-
2. Well,
We need
3
the
I don't
story.
care
We
about.
need- we
3
need
I don't
more
care
story.
about.
We need more story behind 3, but
I just want to know how, like who decided, like, I got an idea. We're gonna put an alien in the camp. Like who?
Sir,
like-
I'm going to tell you right now, this movie was made over a lot of forest plants and weird nights. Okay.
Yeah,
Although
yeah.
I will say this though, this is interesting though with 3, it has a great poster done by Drew Struzan, who did the Indiana
Oh, yeah.
Jones and Back to the Future. He did that. So the best part about 3 is actually the poster. It really is.
Yeah.
Let's be real. The best part about any of these movies are the poster. There's very seldom a moment in any of these movies that lives up to the quality of the poster art. Even the
Yeah, they
fourth
are all
one, which
pretty
is
good.
not hand drawn. Yeah. The posters
looks
are
hand-drawn.
supreme. There were
You know-
this was a great series of VHSs lined up on the video store shelf.
They really were. I will say that. If
enticing
you get
all
all
that.
4, I mean that's why you have them all called Meatballs. I mean, this could have been called Summer Camp, but when you're on the shelf at the video store in 1994, you're looking at Meatballs 1. There's 2. 3. There's 4. That's 4 rentals right there.
This movie made
That's
almost.
good, yeah.
This movie almost made $6 million at the box office.
What, the
Which
first
one?
one?
The second one.
Second
No,
one?
really. Well, the first one was
It's
a
5,410,000.
Good lord.
Yeah, the first one did
Yeah, the
great.
first one was a hit because Bill Murray. Yeah, you can put Bill Murray
Yeah.
in anything at that point.
Yeah.
And it'd be a
This
hit.
is TriStar.
1979.
Remember, the second one was TriStar.
Well, shit.
Oh, wow.
Ken
Yeah, but that's
Widerhorn.
wild.
Ken
People don't care.
Widerhorn
Yeah.
directed it. And the
Oh.
story was by Martin Kitzrosser and Carol Watson.
And for you fans out there, Ken Wiederhorn, I believe he did a great movie called King Frat, which I covered in one of my B Movie Challenge articles. So
And he directed
Oh.
Return of the Living Dead Part 2.
he did.
I will say
Oh.
one thing that could be an interesting wrinkle
And-
for Meatballs 5. Rudy and the Love Goddess could be getting divorced now, and that could create a rivalry of camps across the lake as well. Somehow Meathead's going to save the day for everyone. I don't know how, but it's going to involve the
Love
ghost Bill Murray.
3, don't you?
Because of Patrick Dempsey.
Patrick Dempsey, there's a series of films in Interconnected World where it's just like Patrick Dempsey's sex life on screen.
So
Like
but
about
at the
5
end
to
of
10 years, and it's amazing.
at the end of Meatballs 3, though, he finally told his friend that he's been horrible to, that he's like, all right, you'll do after all.
Basically.
And she's like,
Yeah.
oh,
Awful.
thank you.
Oh,
You.
So you want the ducky ending of Meatballs 3.
But then what, he dumps her again for the Love Goddess?
Wow.
Yeah. That's awful. I cannot
Release
I
the
cannot
Snyder
abide by
cut of
All
Meatballs
right.
3.
The Snyder cut.
Well, then
Oh,
him
boy.
and his wife are getting divorced. It's not the Love Goddess. And I don't know, everyone owns a camp. That's all. Everyone owns a camp. They're all feuding. There's
all
11
these
team
camps.
camps on the lake. It's full of camp.
Battle of the
they're all-
camps. It could
Battle
be
of the
like-
Camps.
They're all beefing. They're all beefing for the best spot of the lake.
Let's just be
God
honest.
damn it.
There doesn't need to be a 5. These 4 movies gave us the universe we need, folks. We just rewatch all 4 of these
Yeah.
all the time.
It could be like a
Wow.
road rules real world challenge. The camp challenge.
But you want to
Wow.
you might as well just do a found footage Meatballs movie.
Oh, why don't you
Oh.
just piss on the Bible while you're at it? I mean, come on now.
I
Although
agree.
Meathead,
There's
if
no-
it's Meathead with his camera, man, I got to do the camp.
Meathead.
Meathead.
You just
Somebody
I
went
just
into a
farted
booth
in the
and they were
Pope's
like, make that
face.
alien talk. And they're like, are there lines? And they're like, no, just figure it out.
An
as you
alien
go.
oh, we'll
talks
have his
like
eyes
this.
get stoned. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh, he
Oh,
got
yeah.
stoned. Oh
And
yeah.
make his parents Jewish.
Yeah. That'll be funny for the kids.
Hey, I go to camp. I'm tired of paying all this money.
I will say, before we wrap it up, though, there is one more pitch in the chat. Of course, Cold's Code says, "Mac and Meathead get navigated," and man, I tell you, we've crossed over quite a few things in the Meatballs
get
universe here.
navigated, get meatballed. Stop putting ed at the end of every word. Just stop it.
But one
Oh.
last thing, like the funniest thing about the Meathead thing was is like that came about the kid's nickname him Meathead because he was saying Meathead.
Yeah, I know.
Yes, thank you. Explaining that.
Oh, I didn't
Oh,
get
you
that.
actually didn't know that,
Thanks,
Steve?
I didn't get that. No,
You didn't
Oh my
get
So
that?
God.
no, his name was Ted. Did he say
Ted.
No, the
Ted?
one
Yeah.
kid, the first thing they say to him, the
Oh.
one kid goes, "Me, Ted."
God, that's so fucking dumb.
Yes, it's amazingly dumb. It's
Oh.
I
fantastic.
hate you so.
We need to bring
Oh,
Joe
no.
Pesci and do fucking meatheads in a duffel bag. Boom. That's your movie. That's all I
Bro.
need. Joe Pesci came to camp to kill someone, but he can't remember who.
There you
And
go,
Meathead's
Christian.
got
You
You look
nailed
like
it.
a real good Bob.
Real good, Bob. All right. Well, sometimes it's better to end on a shitty pitch than a good one. So I don't know what to tell you. But I think that just about wraps it up for pitching Meatballs 5 into the universe.
Oh, I wish.
As
I can't
usual,
wait.
this is a sequel
Someday
that will
there's
probably
going to
only...
be a Meatballs 5, folks. It's going to happen.
It's gonna happen.
We need it.
It's Ian's dream. I know
we
it's
will
Ian's
be
life
in those
goal.
theaters.
It is.
Yes,
opening
we will
night.
come out and
I-
see it with you, Ian.
I could have 3 Oscars on my shelf, and if somebody was like, I know you'll never do this, but the script says Meatballs 5. I'm doing it whether I read the script or not. Like, I'm in. Like, that is like giving me snakes on a plane.
That is the way to make a Meatballs movie.
I mean,
Wait,
honestly, truthfully.
Is
just, like,
Meathead in it? Because I ain't doing it if Meathead's not.
I told you, I'm going to do that ending. I'm going to have that ultimate ending shot that connects all the movies. That's what's going to be.
I
You get
love
your-
that.
And
I
then
want to
Ian's
see
life
that.
will be complete.
You know,
I do love that.
This
I'll
is
say
this is
cut.
Ian's Cobra Kai.
I'll say
this is his
cut.
Karate Kid. I love it.
I'll go and I'll die. Like that. That's all there is to it.
Well, before Ian dies, do you guys have anything you want to pitch coming up in the works? Ian, articles, Mickey music, Steve.
Yes. The music's coming. The music's coming. We've put out one single.
That single was great, Mickey. I was listening to that the other day.
Thank you. So the rest is coming soon.
I want to hear the single.
It's out there. It's on Facebook.
Call the internet, Chris. Like just
go follow Rick Bark. Rick Bark music.
I'm not familiar.
Go get meatballed in a gas station somewhere. Ian. Come on.
Go meatball yourself.
Go meatball
yourself.
Yeah, well, it's camp.
It's camp. What are you gonna do? Wow.
What are you gonna do?
Hey, he said forever hold your meat. That's what I'm here to do.
Hey, I'm Boomer.
Oh my God, Steve! Anything coming up in your corner of the world?
No, I don't know. I got nothing going on.
All right. Well, hey, you never know. You never know when your next appearance on VCR Redux is gonna be. It might even be when you Fandom fans might want to tune in, which is next Wednesday at 9 p.m. when we do 16-bit Van Damage for our Street Fighter episode. Or to put it in terms that Ian can puke about, when we get Street Fighter.
It had to stop sometime.
I'll come back for that
streak of movies.
I'll come back for that one.
Steve will be back, so he's got that going on in the future. Folks, it just doesn't get much better. As always, if you enjoyed this video, the best way to help is to smash that like button and leave a comment telling us what movie or TV franchise that you want us to cover on a future episode of VCR Redux. And since you're already doing that, you might as well go ahead and like, subscribe, and follow Fandom Spotlight, the Hollow 9 Network, and Pop Culture Punk. Till then, back up those Betamax, rewind those Laserdiscs, and we'll see you at the movies.
Meathead.
Meat.